Hey, everybody, we're back with Grooves and Gratitude. This is day number 18.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeannie. I'm an alcoholic and addict.
And I'm Andrew, and I'm an alcoholic and addict. I think one of the things that's the practical part of step 2 and 3 is teaching yourself how to pray. And I never prayed mostly when I was drinking. I might have had desperate sort of moments where I was like, get me out of here, make it stop.
Thought so prayers.
Or
yes.
I did pray to not get into trouble with the authorities, that I wouldn't be stopped when I was driving and things like that. But it was more of just a selfish desperation. And I don't know what happens out there when I pray. Like, I don't know, is there a magic force? I mean, there's some kind of sense of a God or a higher power. We talked about that the last couple of days, but does this thing, this person, this entity, give some kind of a check mark, prayer, answered, do some supernatural woo woo? We don't know for sure. But what I do know is that something happens inside of me when I pray. So think of it as maybe setting an intention for the day or something along those lines. And I find doing it over time, it really is helpful. Now, we did read in one of our favorite recovery authors that she was so cynical about starting this. And then once she started it, these external miracles in her life did start happening that were pretty profound, whether that's, confirmation bias or magical thinking. We're not here to be overly cynical or overly optimistic about the science of it, but we know that something happens on the inside of us. Jeannie, have you had that experience too?
Yes. I think that's it. You said that positivity maybe inside yourself, that you're thinking about that, and then maybe it helps to get it more subconsciously, that you're working on something. And through the prayer, lifting it, I always saw it as lifting it up, giving it up to that higher power. And then maybe I didn't have to worry about it for that moment, that day. So it was a relief that I would feel. So it I don't know about going out in the world and what it does in changing anything, but it, as Andrew said, it changes something inside of me by doing that. And many people use different things for their higher power. You'll hear it in the rooms. They'll say, I used a doorknob, or I used a tree, or I used my sponsor. My sponsor was my higher power. I believe because my sponsor believes. And so that's some of the useful things. Developing a higher power, something that you lean on like that. The beauty of what most 12-step recovery programs recommend is you create your own, a loving higher power, one that's inclusive and loves everyone and everything, that, I don't know, that was beneficial and helpful for me when I started praying. I would do that every morning, pray, keep me sober for today. And then in the evening, I would say thank you, to that higher power for keeping me sober another day.
In the big book, it gives actual kind of instructions, I guess you should say, for the going through step 2 and 3, and it includes a prayer on the third step. Mm-hmm. And it was, I don't remember if it was in a meeting or in a secondary book or at a speaker tape, but it said, write your own second step or third step prayer. And we did write our own third step prayer, and we've been saying it together for years. And I just want to say, when we're talking about the self that we're getting away from in here, we're talking about the selfish kind of instinctual, always just acting on urges part of ourself, the part of ourself that got us drunk in the first place. And the higher self that we're talking about here is benevolent cosmic force for good in the universe, however so be defined. And so we say this one together often. Yeah, God, take me, break me, and remake me, your will, not mine. Relieve me and free me from slavery to self, your will, not mine. remove difficulty, revel in victory,
witness
your power, your love, your way of life, your will, not mine, always and forever. Amen. And if you're in a stuck place, we find that this is like a little key that just kind of opens this door out of the stuck place into a different reality. And we've found it incredibly useful. And really just think cosmic benevolence. Some people use the word universe even to describe this. And of course, if you have a religious tradition, you know, that you're embedded in and it feels safe and affirming and non-toxic to you, use that. It's just, we are just super aware of a lot of the religious hurt that circulates in our culture because people have had some toxic and abusive situations in church. And we worked in church together for several years, and we both experienced a lot of toxicity and a lot of anger and codependency and resentment there. So we're still processing that ourselves. Langhorne Slim, y'all. Langhorne Slim. He is a folk rock singer. Mostly the genres we listen to a lot are rock and folk. He recently recovered from a relapse. He's talked quite openly about that, and got sober again during the pandemic in his home in Nashville, and released an album called Strawberry Mansion that has so many songs on it related to recovery. There's one about a panic attack that he has that is just so true. I mean, I could recommend this whole album, but he has a song called Morning Prayer. And Jeannie's going to read lyrics. We'll post most of these things in the comments on our little page here. Thank you for coming to Grooves and Gratitude. I think we're going to do another prayer thing tomorrow. And if no one sent requests, but if you found, you know, these helpful, or even just listen to one or two of them and you're like, what? They should have included this song. You can always send us a request, as we're got about 10 days left and we're running out of songs. This playlist is getting huge too. So the lyrics to Morning Prayer by Langhorne Slim, read by Jeannie.
God gave me the strength today. I offer myself to thee. From this bondage, set me free. Help me see the nature of my wrongs. In your grace, I will be strong. This whole world is full of fear and grief. Love is at the door, and faith is the key. From the bondage, set me free, and I offer myself to thee. God, with you, I can be whole. If I surrender my control, though I still want to run the show, I'm going to try to let go.
You can tell this is somebody who's immersed himself in the 12-step tradition modality and is just flowing in it. And when he plays, y'all, his live show I saw recently was one of the most incredible things, and so generous of his time and of his spirit. Definitely go check you out, some Langhorne Slim. And we appreciate all the musicians who have gotten sober and have shared openly and publicly about their recovery. Grooves and Gratitude, day 18 is in the bank now.
Right.
We're going to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.